All right. Anyways, let's move on to this last thing.
Sorry.
Boys and girls want to hear about it. Oh, no worries. We all got a little off track there, as we always do. It's entertaining. Okay, really quickly. So, I have to assume at some point soon Mueller's going to wrap up. But so the potential Buzzfeed scoop, which was rebutted by Mueller, dropped on Thursday night, which was that Trump directed Michael Cohen to lie to Congress before Michael Cohen struck a plea deal and everything and was still working for Donald Trump and stuff. So then Mueller's team comes out the next day, and by this point we all know, we've all heard, Mueller comes out the next day, doesn't dispute the whole report, but I think the statement was there are some parts of the report that are factually inaccurate, blah, 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 blah. So my specific thing here is why now. When I first read this, I'm thinking, and I'd like to know what you guys were thinking when I'm done. When I first read this, I'm thinking, why now? Because Mueller's team would never make a statement before either. And there's been, in the last 2 years, plenty of factually inaccurate things, positive for Trump or negative for Trump, that have come out. And Mueller's team said nothing, put out no statements, just kept chugging along. And so I get into the Reddit comments underneath the mega thread. They always mega thread big events and on Reddit. And I read something that made sense to me. So now the special counsel has to live in the era of Democrats controlling Congress. And after that one single report drops, that's probably not even 0.01% of the entire Mueller investigation, just one piece of the puzzle. There's so many pieces of this puzzle. We've been going through this for 2 years. We've been living this in real time. So one piece of the puzzle drops. That's big bombshell news. But now because Democrats actually control a part of Congress, there was legitimate talk of impeachment, right off the bat by some Democrats. Granted, not all, but some. And the drumbeat was much louder than it otherwise would have been. And the theory on Reddit, and one that makes sense to me, and you can criticize if you want or agree, is Mueller's team has to get ahead now of Democrats pulling the trigger too soon, because some of them are obviously trigger happy and they need to calm the fuck down and just let the damn man finish. So the Mueller team just put out I think it was 1 or 2 sentence statement that was hey, look, this is not entirely accurate, just to calm it down. And so people don't trip over themselves. That makes sense to me. There's other things that could make sense.
No, I agree. I mean, there were House congressional committees saying they were going to open an investigation into it.
Well, and that's fine.
People wanted to move chess pieces based on this. Well, it's just Mueller comes out and he goes, "All right, everyone, calm down.
Right.
Let it come when it does." And he disputed a few of these reports. I don't know. If anything, I think it gives more integrity to the Mueller team. Him coming out and putting a statement out like this.
For sure. But did you have any issues with their integrity before? Probably not. So
no, but you know what I mean.
No, I know.
They're hey, we're doing our investigation. Mueller, we're trying to do it right. So.
Someone like Mueller in my mind is a Jim Mattis, which once again you should be sad is not working in the White House anymore. But yeah, I don't think. And actually, who knows what happens? Wouldn't that be? I'm at this point we know that there's going to be a final report. There's been some things where I guess the AG can not politicize it, but the Attorney General can stop a lot of it from getting released publicly.
Yeah.
Apparently, and I don't know enough about that to speak too much on it, but I mean, I'm just going to assume that there's going to be a report that comes out that details everything that happened, and that moment is going to be a huge moment. There's going to be so many people that have just been holding their breath waiting, either for him to be vindicated or for him to get the hammer dropped down on him.
Right.
And, can you think of anything else that's going to be bigger than that moment and then before 2020? I do not. That's going to be crazy.
Besides the next election.
Whenever that drops, even if it's a nothing burger, when the Mueller report drops, it's going to be everywhere.
If it's a nothing burger, then I think the pot will be stirred even more.
Why?
What? If it's a nothing burger, maybe Trump wins again in 2020. Because I think as it stands right now, he doesn't win. If it drops and it's a nothing burger, I think he wins.
Yeah, he win, yeah. As always, it depends on what the other teams choose as their player against you. And last time, the other team chose a pretty poor player.
They did. They absolutely did.
So you always have to wait and see for that. But and also when you get what's also going to be interesting, and I thought about this when we were talking last time about 2020 and the Dems, Chad. When you get a president that's pretty vilified, I don't want to say Obama was vilified, but there was definitely large section of the populace that did not like Obama and definitely vilified him. And when you rile people up against the person in charge, you're going to get a whole lot of people trying to run. Like the amount of Republicans that ran in 2016, you remember it was so many, and it just felt like it was just Bernie and Hillary. I know there was like 3 other burglars, but they were nothing idiots. So not idiots, that's not nice, but they weren't competitive at all. It was just like Bernie and Hillary. But for the Republicans, there was like 18 people that Trump had a nickname for. And we already see like, well, we're like still pretty much 2 years away from the election, and there's like 700 Democrats running already. You're like, Jesus Christ. Like everyone's chomping at the bit to run against Trump. Like, geez. Which, by the way, be careful what you wish for. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you have a good strategy. You can't. I always say, I'll make this analogy. I always say whenever I'm talking to football with people, it's like, dude, it's hard to win on the road. I don't care what team you are. If you're on the road, it's hard. Like, be careful what you wish for. Like, it's never quite easy to just win a national election. Like,
well, nobody thought Trump had any chance of winning in the first place, and look what happened. So,
correct.
Don't miss.
We got a lot of weird elastic voters that either vote for like hardcore. They just vote for who they think supports working people, and for a huge block of people that are like Midwestern, it used to be for Democrats a lot, and then they went for Trump in 2016, and that's what broke it. That like white working class Midwesterner elected Trump into office. That's why Sherrod Brown will be pretty good. He's a senator from Ohio, but all right. Anyways,
yeah, we'll
see what happens when the Mueller.
Well, somebody else announced their run for presidency today. Who was that?
Today, really? I don't know.
It was she's more of a
Kamala Harris.
Harris.
She's a corporate Dem. No thanks. Next.
Yeah, no, but it's just interesting that like it'll be interesting. 2020 will be.
How many are we up to at this point?
5 or 6, maybe.
Beto have officially announced that
Beto's not running.
Democrat.
Beto hasn't announced.
Beto will. Well, so Elizabeth Warren
We'll
started a exploratory committee to see if she should.
No, Elizabeth Warren says she is running.
Oh, she is running. Okay, so Elizabeth Warren.
Is.
Kamala Harris. Who is that? Kirsten Gillibrand?
That's a corporate. Yep. She's our senator. Yep. She's a corporate Dem. Well, actually, she's not a corporate Dem. She's too identity politics for me. She goes hard into the identity politics. I don't like it. It's way too much.
Bernie Sanders had said anything.
Although I did see Kamala Harris. I think it said she supported single payer.
So I don't know. I'm waiting to see what else comes out. So
yeah, we'll see.
What's his name? Rose Boy.
Careful what you wish for. Oh, Richard Ojeda. Hell yeah.
Oh, he officially.
But dude, he was like one of the first ones. But listen, he's such a long shot.
Ojeda, hold on. Here's what I see as the list right now.
Right.
Julian Castro.
Ugh, I don't even.
John Delaney. Julian Castro, San Antonio, Texas is where he was born.
Yeah, John Delaney apparently announced he was running like 2 years ago. I was like, what? Okay.
All right.
John Delaney, a U.S. representative from Maryland.
Really quickly, about that, he's a U.S. representative, so he literally just had an election, but was running for president also? Like, what?
Right.
It's just weird to me.
According to this, it says July 28th, 2017 is when he announced. And then Julian Castro announced January 12th, 2019. January 11th, 2019, Tulsi Gabbard, who currently that's my number one right now.
Tulsi, yeah.
Is that the Hawaii senator?
Bernie and Ojeda.
On this list here is Kirsten Gillibrand,
yep.
U.S. Senator from New York. Kamala Harris, Senator from California. Currently, she was an Attorney General of California and a District Attorney in San Francisco. Richard Ojeda, West Virginia State Senator, currently, or just ended. and Democratic nominee for representative in West Virginia. So he's in, and Elizabeth Warren also has.
I imagine we'll be seeing a
So
lot
let's
more
get our
hats thrown in.
let's get our token lefty here.
Well, so there's other
to
ones
share
as
his
well.
comments on each one. So
Go ahead, give us one sentence for each one. Token lefty.
Well, hold on, real quick. Other declared candidates. I want to know if anybody even
Well, if
knows these people.
I will vote
Michael
third.
Arth,
Oh, sorry.
No,
I don't
Harry
know who that is.
Braun.
no.
Are these also people running?
Yes.
Yeah, these aren't.
These
the
Are you on
original.
Ballotpedia?
These are like not the hardcore ones.
Are you on Ballotpedia? Because that would be a good
I'm
place to
actually on
go.
Wikipedia.
Oh, Wikipedia, that also works.
It's pretty updated. Ken Yuanke Jr.
So I'm looking at a
No.
CNN one, and I'm going to go through all of the big names. I'm going to tell you whether I'd vote for them over Trump or I'd vote third party.
This is the
Okay.
libtard hot take. Take it away, Cyril.
Let's do it.
Kamala Harris, I'm voting third party. Julian
Okay.
Castro, I'm voting third party. I'm
Okay.
voting for Gabbard over Trump. I'm
Yeah.
voting John Delaney, I'm voting third party. Richard
Yeah.
Ojeda, I'm voting for him.
Okay.
And honestly, I feel sad. No, not sad. I feel kind of bad saying I wouldn't vote for John Delaney because I'm not sure totally about his platform, but I'm sure he's not going to blow me away. Andrew Yang of New York, I've seen his platform. He literally is more left than anybody here. He wants to go to straight.
Wait,
What's
who is
the
this?
Andrew Yang?
Gotcha.
Businessman of New York. He wants to go to UBI. He wants to go to like hardcore UBI for
Universal
everybody.
basic income.
Yeah, like
Really?
soon. Yeah, you should look into him. I'm voting third party. Kristen Gillibrand, I'm voting third party. Elizabeth Warren, I'm voting Elizabeth Warren over Trump. So those are the four.
Third party. That's where I disagree with you on that one.
That's fine.
Everything else I agree with you.
Elizabeth Warren, I would.
Last one.
There's something about her that makes me feel like she'd be good for working class, but there's also something about her that she could be Obama. So I'm not like, as of right now, and I say Obama in a negative way because he didn't get this lefties progressive things that he wanted done. So, and also didn't keep promises, which I guess none of them do, but still.
I honestly believe
So,
that
yeah.
the biggest thing that Tulsi has going for her right now is the fact that, and I know Cyril's going to tease me a little bit, she's been on the Joe Rogan podcast.
She is
has
also
a shitload of views as well. So like there is name recognition as well as like a better understanding of her platform just based on that one.
Name recognition from Joe Rogan watchers, which is a drop in the bucket when you talk about the country, obviously.
Well, sure, but
Elizabeth Warren has a much higher profile than Tulsi Gabbard does.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Okay.
Again, I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying specifically, though, is somebody like Tulsi Gabbard, a female, to go into a podcast which is generally listened to by all males,
She's fearless.
I think is a pretty big deal.
She's fearless. She's proved that, that she can go into any situation and talk with people and get along with people. And I specifically like her foreign policy. She herself is a veteran also, which I like her and Ojeda for that. I'm not gonna lie, I give preference to if you're a veteran, or even if you've been in the FBI or some sort of service, like that's fine, or like you're a cop, like there you go, right? So they're both veterans, and Tulsi Gabbard specifically just like goes hard in the paint on like we don't need to be fighting all these crazy wars at the amount of numbers we have over there. Like we can bring people home. So I'm a fan of that. I also have to say I was a fan of the announcements that Trump made about that, and then he kind of backtracked. So, but anyways, there's your token lefties positions on who do you vote for. Andrew Yang is you guys should look into him. He's super like his UBI is pretty. He wants like I think he's calling it Social Security for all, which is interesting. Wants to make like Social Security UBI basically, which I guess is what? Listen, what would UBI be but something like Social Security? Like it'd be the same thing. Like why do you I don't understand.
That's a huge undertaking.
Oh, sure. Okay, that's fair.
Fuck off,
It
Cyril.
definitely is.
Not every
All right,
word out of my mouth is a fuck you to Cyril.
All right,
You're not that special.
You said what was on your mind, and that's fair. All right, calm down. You're not wrong. That would be a large undertaking, and I think I'm always an advocate of baby steps for certain things. not things as egregious as Schedule 1 for marijuana. That's just, there's no baby steps on that. Just stop being stupid. But
one of the things that I always think about is how far are we away from the next New Deal?
we're only as far as we let inequality go. So hopefully it gets better.
When I listen to you, we've let it go quite a ways, right?
But look, I
hold
always
on.
admit. Sure.
If we have one more financial meltdown, right? We had the 2000 bubble, we had the 2008 bullshit happen. You know, if we have another one, that would be 3 in the span of what? 2 decades?
It's not unprecedented. We've got a whole history of.
Well, sure, but the severity of the ones as of late have been.
I wish I was
crushing, right?
I agree. I think I see where you're going with this, and I wish I could agree with you, but like we just don't learn a lesson.
Sure, but we did at one point, right? We did have a New Deal.
Yeah.
We did start Social Security. We did start Medicare. We did start infrastructure projects in the, what was it? That was the late 20s, early 30s before World War II? Or was it earlier than that?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Look, a lot of there's a lot of, and I feel like we've had this discussion many a time. There's a lot of different ways we can solve problems that face us. Like if we got a whole bunch of, I don't want to say better leadership. That's not the right way to put it. But if we got a whole bunch of leadership in high up in a good chunk of huge companies that decided to like, you know, or for whatever reason, if there was money getting dispersed more evenly throughout the company, like especially a company like McDonald's or something like that, as opposed to what it is now, then, you know, there's ways to fix things, and good leadership in different places can do so. It doesn't have to be just government. That's crazy. Like, but if we let things run away for too long and we just keep going on the path we're going, then, I mean, I feel like we've been able to stave off a lot of stuff too, because as technology gets better, then it's cheaper and cheaper to obtain a minimum standard of living, which is a good thing. Like technology has done that for sure. So there's always a give and take.